What is up, people? Hello, and welcome back to another match reaction here on the Cup Chasers. The Arsenal have beaten Brighton 2-1 at the Emirates Stadium, and I'm able to get this match reaction out a little late, but we're getting it out. I was on the road yesterday, got to watch the game, and I have rewatched the game as well. So I've got definitely some notes, definitely some things to say here about this game, having just rewatched it. But first, of course, go ahead and smash up the likes. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, of course. Thanks for being here. And let's hype it up if you got any of those left. And of course, I want to know what you're thinking down in the comments section below. All right. Let's go ahead and jump right into this one. Of course, the lineup was odd, was definitely weird. Once again, another injury in the warm-up. I don't even want to, my head's about to explode with all these injuries to the back line. So instead of Calafiori, Miles Lewis-Skelly comes in. Now, as far as Declan Rice playing right back, I get it. I get it because he's able to invert. He's going to be the guy that, inverts and gets into the middle. It's kind of the most natural of the people we have to get to come in there and play right back. So I actually thought Declan Rice had a good game back there. It didn't really seem like we suffered too much from that fact. I guess because it was 2 minutes into the game, I get to start with Victor Gyökeres. And I've been a huge proponent of his. I've been a huge defender of his. But this performance is just indefensible. Man, this was the game, too. This was the game. We knew Brighton were going to be open. We're going to give us space. They like to press way high up the pitch. They like to possess out from the back. This was the perfect game. You were going to have space in this game. You're always going to have space in this game. But what it seems like to me is that the horror, shocking miss where he's tried to lob the goalkeeper in the second minute of the game sapped all of his confidence. Just all of his confidence gone right then and there. And he had nothing left for the rest of the game. How long are we going to sit here and keep saying that, oh man, Gyökeres worked hard. Gyökeres got into spaces. Gyökeres really put in a shift defensively. I mean, it's an echo chamber. It's the same BS we said about Kai Havertz. It's the same effing stuff we said about Kai Havertz. And if that's not a damning statement of what's going on right now, I don't know what is. I don't know what is, man. You were brought in to be the guy because we couldn't finish to save our life. We can't finish to save our life, so you're the guy that comes in. And now 4 games on the bounce, the narrative is the same. The narrative is the same. 24 shot attempts, 24 chances created. Once again, 6 on target. 24. It's like almost 100 chances we've created in the last 4 games, including the Carabao Cup, of course. It's damn near 100 chances we've created, and we've scored 1 time by ourselves, not counting the penalty. 100 chances, 1 goal by ourselves, if you don't count the penalty. Because I don't really count that. What's his name gave it to us trying to play basketball like Virgil van Disney. I mean, we won the game, and I'm happy, of course, that we got it over the line. But, dude, we were excellent in that first half. All the way up until we got in front of the goal. We were fantastic. They didn't offer anything. Brighton didn't offer anything in that first half, and we were fantastic. I think as a whole, going forward, we were fantastic. Before we got right in front of the goal, then we were horrible, terrible, awful, ridiculously bad. Pick your derogative. Yeah, my third note is that Marino had a shaky first 5 minutes, couple of weird touches that I thought was I actually remember saying, "Come on, Marino," at one point, but after that, I thought he improved, and I thought the midfield did well. We'll definitely get on to Martin Odegaard, who I think was my man of the match, but we're just going through my notes here because I had my eye on Victor, and am really, really trying to combat the narrative. I'm mentioning things like, oh, he's got a good touch in the 12th minute. Like I'm taking notes on he's got a good touch in the 12th minute where he's laid the ball, he's received the pass and laid the ball off. And then it's like, and then the net, and then like three notes later, it's like Gyökeres is having a shocker. The touches are just not great. He's just not, you've got to pick it up, man. You've just got to pick up the touches, because if you're not going to be banging in the goals, if you're not going to be on the end of things, but you're also going to be horrible in the buildup, you're not offering us anything, and no one can defend you, and you're going to get benched. When Kai Havertz comes back, you're getting benched. If Havertz is back for Villa, you're getting benched. That's what's happening. And I don't want it to happen because I'm a fan, but that performance was so bad. Like, he deserves to be benched after this. And I know that it seems like that's horrible for the confidence, and we seem to somehow breed into our forwards this lack of confidence. And after he's missed the lob in the first minute, it feels like his confidence just went out the window and it was never there again. I love his work rate, but that can't be the best attribute you have. Your pressing and work against the ball cannot be the best attribute you bring to the table. You're supposed to be the guy that gets us over the line. And right now you are not doing that, man. Victor's just not doing it. I do think that we were playing quickly. We'd turn the ball over, and we would certainly, as far as Martin Odegaard was concerned, he's looking forward. He's looking for the 1-2 touch passes when we turn the ball over. And that was obviously a tactical, approach from Arteta, because we all know that Brighton is going to be open. And so they're playing quicker. I like that. And I thought that Saka, in combination with Martin Odegaard playing quicker, we're doing very, very well down the right-hand side. I mean, we blitzed their wingers, both sides, Trossard and Saka. We blitzed their wingers in the first half, and right before, we scored, there was a quick transition. And actually, no, this is my note about the goal where it was good pressure from Nketiah. Gruda turns the ball over. And like I say, we're quick passes. 1-2, Saka brings 3 guys. Odegaard's open. That's where a lot of his goals come from. Boom. Great shot. Kind of uses the defenders. Kind of, sort of. The goalkeeper probably thinks he's going far post, but he brings it near post. Fantastic finish. And against Brighton, that's all day. That's bread and butter against Brighton, of course. And my next note is we were absolutely blitzing the wingers, toying with them, as I said. But here's my note, as often as we get to the byline, we really don't score the cutbacks and the tap-ins that much. I think that they need to work on the timing of the runs to the near post or the far post. And I think that Saka and Victor need to have a chat. You guys need to sit down and work on when Saka's going back post and when he's going to make the decision to go near post, because Saka had the opportunity 6-7 times in this game where he's beaten his man. He's got the space on the right-hand side, and he can either put it across to Victor or he can have a shot, whichever one. And they just seem to get it crossed up and pick the wrong option. Either Saka takes too long to make the decision, or Victor doesn't get the right run in. He goes back post. Saka went near with the ball. Saka goes back post. Victor runs near. They got to figure it out. Because the amount of times we get to the byline on both sides and just don't score the cutback, which is what our system is designed to do, and we're just not scoring the cutback or, the near post shot, whatever. It's a huge issue. Yeah, my next note, Vicky's still having a shocker, but finally finds a great touch and layoff in the 35th. That's when Rice ripped it into Rose Zed. We were absolutely cooking in the transitions, of course. Yeah, like I said, I was just trying to get any good note for Victor. He takes one for the team, gets the goalkeeper booked right there. Definitely not a deniable goal scoring opportunity for me. So yeah, yellow was the right decision. And you love to see Victor working, but his anticipation as well needs to improve. As a striker, expect no one else to get the ball and swing your foot at it. So when in that cross, right at the beginning of the second half, when it comes across and Declan goes up for the header, completely whiffs it, and then it just smacks him in the face. Like, as a striker, you have to be anticipating that no one else is going to get there and swing your foot at it like there's no one there. And this is bread and butter. This is simple stuff for a striker. And it's either, the Portuguese league really, really, really was that bad, or there's no one in the Arsenal coaching staff that has this ruthless strikers killer mentality to tell him these things. Anticipate it. This is simple. Like, I played for a long time at a very, very, very low standard, and even I'm like, dude, you have to anticipate it. You got to anticipate that's coming in, so it's a problem, and he's gonna get benched. He deserves to. Unfortunately, I'm a big fan of him, and I think he's going to come good. I do think that he's there, and there's a great player in there that's going to help us, especially in the Champions League. But you got to start showing it, man. You got to earn this. Yes, you get a certain amount of leeway because you're wearing the badge that we all love, but at some point you got to earn it. You just got to do what we've brought you in to do, and at this point we're left with the same thing that we've been left with. Fantastic up into the goal, and then we can't manage to stick it in, and Victor, you got to start being the guy, or you're going to be riding the bench. Once again, it's just going to be Kai Havertz all over again, I thought that we weren't at our best on the deliveries either. Declan Rice had a couple of poor deliveries on the free kicks. Saka had a couple of poor corner kicks, but then as soon as I make that note, Mikel Arteta is on mind games. He's just got other teams scoring for us. Miguel seems to realize that we are struggling in front of the net. So he's got the Congo coach doing the voodoo and bringing out voodoo dolls against other teams so that other teams will score our goals for us, because right now in the last 5 games, own goals are our leading goal scorers. And that's absolutely embarrassing, especially for a team trying to win stuff. Okay. This is horrendous. It's a terrible problem. And yes, we're getting wins over the line. We're kind of scamming wins over the line, but if we can't put a complete performance together and start putting complete performances together, it's just simply unsustainable. And we're not going to be able to, especially against teams who are far more ruthless than the likes of Brighton, Everton, Wolves. We're going to get punished. If we play half the game versus Villa on Tuesday, we're done. We're done. It's over. And we will not be on top of the table come Wednesday morning or Thursday morning. I think City play Wednesday. If we mess around in this game like we have been recently, we have to be ruthless and put them to the sword, man. I think that on my halftime note, it says controlled the game completely, kept them to no shots at all, but we haven't been clinical once again. Victor was terrible, destroying them on the wings. Sometimes when teams allow us 1v1s, it's very interesting to me that they'll do that they allow us 1v1s. Maybe Hertzler knew that we just can't finish. And so give us the byline and you'll be able to defend the back end near post because we just can't finish. I guess that's what he's thinking because holy crap. I did think that Declan being at right back worked out, but was still kind of weird. We're getting these sweeping, brilliant moves. You got to get the shot past the block, and that was the one that led to the corner kick where Rutter scores for us. Great finish. Victor was okay in the second half, but deservedly hooked. And we'll move on to Martin Odegaard. Absolutely fantastic game from Martin Odegaard. Back to his one of his best performances. I still need more from him as far as a calming captain's presence when we're up against it at the end of games. Getting on the ball like he's very good at it. It's his best attribute, controlling the game, slowing it down, keeping possession, ticking along, give the ball to the defenders, get it back, play a ball into, the forward, get it back, keep the ball and, frustrate the defenders, make them run at the end of the game so that's how we can see it out. And it was a weird one the way we ended this because after their goal, which is a horror show, by the way, I'll get to that in a second. After their goal, we, for 10 minutes, let them have way too much of the game. And I thought that, I was riding down the road when I first watched it. That's why I had to watch it again. And so I thought that it was a super, super nervy finish. But like after 10 minutes or so, from the 75th to like the 88th or so, we were doing those things, getting on the ball, had the ball in the corner, kind of controlled possession, but there was still a nervousness about it. So it was kind of weird. I still had that pit in my stomach where I was like, this just isn't, it's a little bit of what I wanted to see as far as keeping possession and trying to control and see out the end of the game. But every single time we turned the ball over and they were quick in the transition, it looked dangerous. And there were moments where we backed off and backed off and backed off and backed off. And our biggest issue right now, and I don't know how no one in the coaching staff is seeing this, we don't defend crosses. Once again, we just can't defend crosses. So, and while Miles Lewis-Skelly, I thought, had a good first half, there were a couple of moments when Minta came on that he was getting ran ragged. And it comes down to the fact that he did not step on the cross. Yes, it was scruffy. Yes, it Trossard blocked it and it bounced up a little bit, and then there was a scuffle, goes off the post, and it's a fantastic finish. And that kind of, what happens, but it's happened like way too much. That's how we've conceded like literally all of our goals. The last few goals we've conceded has literally been not defending crosses. The Palace corner kick didn't defend the cross well. Scruffy we get scored against. The Chelsea goal we conceded was off of a corner kick where we did work first to the ball. The Sunderland goal, the Wolves goal. How many goals do I have to? The Aston Villa goal that we conceded and lost the game at the end of the, what I'm saying? It's these crosses that we don't. And it was the literal first cross that we let in. It's the literal, like one time. That's all it takes in this league is one moment where you switch off and it bounces around in the box and somebody puts their laces through it and rips one into the net. And all of a sudden, what was a very comfortable 2-0 now looks ridiculously nervy. And it's right here. It's right here. When anything goes wrong, when one thing goes wrong with this team, it's like panic stations. We start to like, we get all frazzled, and so we needed Gabriel to come on, and we were under it for 10 minutes, way under it for 10 minutes, man. And we can't have that. It's a ruthless mentality that we need. And I hate to always bring it back to Man City, but Man City are the standard, whether we like it or not. They are the standard. And in Man City's best teams, in their treble winners, in their Centurions, when they got scored on, they said, all right, fine. Now I'm going to slap you back 4 times. They immediately turned around and shoved it back down the opponent's throat. When we get scored on, we panic. We start doing this. Oh no, it's nervous. Oh no, we might blow this. We might bottle this. Oh no. That's what you see from the Arsenal when anything goes wrong, with one little thing goes wrong. If you look at the last 3-4 games, we've played really, really, really well, kept them to absolute nothing, and then it turns on a moment, and they're all of a sudden back in the game. All of a sudden back in the game. That's what's happened in like the last 3 or 4 games. Happened at Wolves, happened versus Palace, happened in this Brighton game. And it comes back to mentality. It comes back to Mikel Arteta's game management, let's just get it over the line mentality. That just doesn't work in this league. If you're going to win this league, you have to be absolutely ruthless. Ruthless. You have to put away these chances. This game should have been 7-0. We should have absolutely pumped these guys. Brighton were horrendous in that first half. It should have been 4-0. It should have been 1-0 2 minutes into the game, and we should have went on to win 6-7-0. It should have been an absolutely devastating decimation of an embarrassment. But we do not have that ruthless killer mentality. You know who does? You know who has that ruthless killer mentality? Erling Haaland, Ryan Shirky, Philip Foden, and fucking Pep Guardiola. They have the ruthless mentality. We're scared. They have a ruthless mentality. And until we emulate that, we're going to be second place, perennial. So I don't know. Moving forward, I just don't know. I'm very, very worried. I'm concerned about the fact that we can't finish. And it comes down to a mentality. It comes down to a ruthless mentality where we have to put teams to the sword. This game management stuff at some point is just, I don't know how we can't see that it's just not good enough. We've been stuck at almost for 3 straight seasons. So I don't know. Until they find a killer's ruthless mentality. It's what we thought Victor was going to be. It's what we thought Gyökeres was brought in to be, but he's not doing that. And so now it's just a carbon copy of Kai Havertz. He's got a different body shape, but we're saying the same things. He was supposed to be the guy. And so that's where we're at. That's where we're at. Yep. Yeah, my note when Jesus came on, Jesus looked sharper in 5 minutes than Vicky did in 70. We have had zero control since conceding. And then Raya, David Raya, with an absolutely incredible, magnificent save of the season. I'm telling you what, man, the strikers need to worship the ground that David Raya walks on. Victor Gyökeres, Bukayo Saka, you, man, need to be absolutely kissing David Raya's boots because he saved your ass from an absolute hiding. An absolute hiding that would have been coming your way. It's already coming. It's already coming for our lack of finishing. Like, Victor Gyökeres is going to get pammed in the media, in socials, on X. It's going to happen. YouTube is going to destroy him because of how poor that was and how poor he's been. That's already going to happen. But imagine if Raya hadn't made that save. Imagine if we're not still in first place right now by the skin of our teeth. Head loss. Absolute head loss. And I'd be a part of that. I would be a part of that. Absolutely screaming at the top of my lungs because we are stinky in front of goal. Absolutely smelly in front of the goal. It's absolutely ridiculous. I said weird into the game where it wasn't exactly panicking, but it wasn't exactly comfy. It's still a game management and not a ruthless mentality. Yep. And then I can't read out my last note because it's we're blank at finishing. Blank me. No killer, no ruthless mentality. It's a bummer, really. And it has me in serious blanking doubt about winning anything at all, really. So that's what I'm left with at the end of this game is doubt. Concern. I'm worried. Very, very worried. Do not be any surprised at all, Gooners, if Kai Havertz starts versus Aston Villa. Do not be surprised one bit. If we don't find the killer, ruthless mentality to kill teams off and to finish games. Whether that's Mikel needs to find it, whether that's Victor needs to find it, whether Martin Odegaard needs to bring that through, whether Declan Rice needs it, whoever. Someone needs to find the finishing. Because right now it ain't good enough. It just ain't good enough. These wins aren't sustainable. You know, these wins are not sustainable. So, yeah, I don't know. We're leaving shaking our head, and Aston Villa is going to be an absolute, it's a must win. It's going to be really, really, really tough. But I'll get a preview in tomorrow. Make sure you look out for that. Of course, if you're still here, thanks for being here. Smash up the like button. And, of course, hype it up if you got some of those left. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Of course, thanks for being here. And I definitely want to know what you're thinking about Victor down in the comments below. Is it Mikel Arteta's issue that we do not have a ruthless killer mentality? Because I do believe it starts from the top. Let me know what you think about that as well. And, of course, catch me in the next one for the Aston Villa preview tomorrow. And thanks again for being here. You will see me next time.